up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we give reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where there is a lot of topics to discuss, some big ones as well. Firstly, Hansi Flick is desperate for a midfield reinforcement this summer, and he has set his eyes on Joshua Kimmich being his main option. However, Deco is pushing for Amadou Onana internally as a profile-wise, but again, price with Everton is still very difficult, and the option of Mikel Merino is still very strong internally. Also have some updates in regards to exits. Of course, yesterday was June the 30th, a lot of players' contracts and loan deals were expiring. Barcelona have been announcement FC over the past 24 hours, announcing the exit of Dest, Alonso, and even the Joaos as well. We'll talk about their futures along with potential exits as well. Sergino Roberto, no longer a first-team player or a Barcelona player. His contract is done and expired. Romeu is set for the exit as well. Some Barca Atletic exits as well. Future updates around Barca Atletic players like Unai Hernandez renewal, Tony and Gili Fernandez renewal, Marc Bernal renewal. Future of Araujo. Manchester United dropped their interest in Ronald. So there's anyone else really out there wanting to sign the Uruguayan? And also Barcelona presenting an official offer to Hull City for Jaden Philogene. And we also have an update as well on your boy Nico Williams. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 250 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. First, we do have some updates on Barcelona's midfield signing, which I've gone is desperate in this squad right now. And again, the three kind of main names are still on the table, but now we're hearing some of the reports about Flick's opinion on who he wants. Ferran Coras from Sport has come out saying that Hansi Flick prefers Joshua Kimmich to sign for Barcelona and is willing to intervene and try to convince the player. Amadou Onana is Deco's favorite for the pivot position. Mikel Merino and Kimmich are also well placed, but Flick prefers Kimmich because he believes the player can fit in this team with Gundogan and Frenkie de Jong. Couple things here. Number one, him preferring Kimmich, no problem with that whatsoever. That's the player that he wants. German connection, yada yada yada, whatever. The fact now that Kimmich's price tag that we're hearing it will be around 30 to 40 million has kind of calmed me down a bit in regards to us pursuing him. Again, my only real concern is where you want to use him as a player and also his attitude behind the scene. Second of all, believes the player can fit in a team with Gundogan and Frenkie. A midfield three of Gundogan, Frenkie, and Kimmich is beyond imbalanced. I mean, you're talking about three players that have very similar profiles. I would say Kimmich and Frenkie are the exact same player. Who the hell is going to win that ball back in the midfield? Who the hell is going to be the one in the midfield making tackles, transitional runs, defensive recoveries? Who's going to be doing that? We had the exact same midfield this past season where it was Gundogan and Frenkie in the hole with Pedri advancing. And also with this midfield three, where's Pedri? Pedri has to be a starter, right? I get it. He'll probably be injured for about 4 months next season. That's already set in my mind. But the start of the season, if Pedri's fit, he is starting over Gundogan in the 10. That is 100% for certain. So if he's planning to have a midfield three of Gundogan, Frenkie, and Kimmich, it just makes no sense. And then what happens when Gavi comes back fit? Of course, it depends on how he comes back fit and stuff like that. But the plan is a bit weird. The profile of the player is okay. The attitude behind the scenes of the player is a question mark. So I don't see Kimmich as a clear option. If we sign him, I'll back it. It's what the manager wants, whatever. As long as we get it for a good deal, I would say no more than 40 million as a package. You want to offer 30 plus 10 or whatever, or 25 plus 15, whatever it is. I would not go a euro over 40 million for Kimmich. I think that by then you're way overpaying for someone who's going to be a free agent next year. Onana is a fantastic option. It's just that he's too damn expensive. And I think that if Everton, I think now they kind of comply with FFP with the sales and stuff they've done over the past few days. I think they sold Godfrey to Atlanta for like 10 million. Like, they're not going to reduce the price. And you know what? For 70 million, Onana's not worth it. For 60 million, you can persuade me. I'll tell you that right now. So, I mean, we'll wait and see. I think Mikel Merino will have a huge kind of, push resurgence once the Euros end. I feel like he'll become a better option than Kimmich because he will be a bit cheaper, younger, knows the league, knows the players as well. He kind of fits everything we need right now. I wouldn't say he's the perfect option, but I think he's definitely a step ahead. I wouldn't say levels ahead of Kimmich, but a step ahead in terms of fitting the mold of what we need, price-wise, integration, player profile, all that kind of stuff. So we'll wait and see. It's quite clear now the top three are Onana, Kimmich, and Merino, and no order there in particular. We'll wait and see who the club do decide. Deco wants Onana, Flick wants Kimmich. I think Merino's is kind of a good option that everyone can kind of agree upon. So we'll see how things do turn out. But again, it looks like that Flick wants to sign Kimmich, and he'll try his best to persuade the player to kind of reduce his demands as well. And wait and see if Barcelona do agree with this move and do pursue the German midfielder. Now, along with the midfielder, of course, Barcelona are in the market for a left wing. The two holes in the team last season that we need to reinforce this summer. And of course, at the left wing, Nico Williams is still widely regarded as the main priority, with Deco still being a big fan of Luis Diaz. Now, Ferran Corazon Sport came out saying that some people in Barcelona's board are against the signing of Nico Williams because he could have joined Barcelona on a free transfer, but decided to renew his contract with the Athletic club, something in which harmed the club. I'm going to try my best to keep my cool here, because I was on the side of the board. Remember, if you look at my videos in February, March, and April, we were being linked with Nico. I'm saying, look, the month that was free 2 months ago. We can't go and spend 50 million. That's irregular. But then, of course, I hold my hands up. I've seen the light. I've seen the light. The board thinking this, I can't really, criticize them, because I was on that side of the fence and I can see their point of view. But you cannot get more of a clear target for Barcelona than Nico Williams. Let's be honest. You and I, the board, let's be honest here. He was not going to leave Athletic Club for free. I almost said Barcelona there. He was not going to leave Bilbao for free. He was never ever going to leave Bilbao for free. It just took him a while to find an agreement. In the end, they found an agreement before January hit where he would have waited into the last 6 months of his contract, and then teams would have came in, started talking to him. So they renewed, I think it was like December 17th or something like that. He was never going to leave Bilbao for free. Never, ever, ever. We need to get past this. I mean, y'all saw what he did last night against Georgia. There has not been... I've never seen a fan base, our fan base, the Kool-Aid fan base, more united to sign a player since Frenkie de Jong in 2019. When we were going for Frenkie, I did not see one Barcelona fan not want Frenkie. The past time, I see some people who didn't want Lewandowski because of his age and stuff like that, but everyone kind of agreed, okay, let's sign him. You know what? Rafinha, oh, he played for Leeds, blah, blah, blah. Koundé, I would say a lot of fan bases were for him for sure. I think he was kind of like 98%. I think there were some people saying, oh, he was a bit too expensive. We shouldn't spend that kind of money on one player. We should divide it up into a few other players. That was kind of the talk, of course, during that crazy 2022 summer. But apart from it, I'd say maybe Koundé and Frenkie de Jong. Those are the last two players that we signed that the whole entire fan base, the coaches, the socios, the board, everyone agreed to sign and wanted to sign. It's the same thing for Nico Williams. Deco is pissing me off with these freaking Luis Diaz reports that he keeps dropping in the media. He needs to wake the F up and face reality. There is no better signing for Barcelona this summer than Nico Williams. I understand the midfield is a priority. I do agree with that. I think if you told me right now, gun to your head, you're the signing midfielder or left winger, what are you signing? I would say midfielder. But Nico Williams is perfection. He is exactly what we need. And he's not ridiculously expensive. 60 million. Okay, yeah, that's on the higher end. We spent that same amount on Rafinha. It's not... If you're talking, 70 plus, you're talking, okay, that's big money. We bought Frenkie for 70. Of course, Griezmann, Coutinho. You're touching those kind of categories. 60 million is okay. It's a fair price for the player. The Athletic Club get good money for a player that they nurtured up and produced. He'll be happy that he knows that his boyhood club gets good money for him. Just pay the fucking release clause. I mean, teams are gonna come in for him. This man is lighting up the Euros. We have an advantage. All his best friends play for Barcelona. They've been tapping him up. There's been videos coming out of them training, talking about the number 10 and stuff like that. The board cannot F up this signing. If they F up this, I'm gonna freaking push this. If the board F up this signing, if the only way I will accept Nico Williams not joining Barcelona this summer is if he becomes too expensive. If he's like, oh, he wants commission, his agent wants a commission, he's asking for ridiculous transfer wages. Okay, fine. But you will not know that answer unless you pursue him. Do not piss me off. I get it. He was free 6 months ago. Who gives a shit? Go out there and sign the player that Barcelona needs. If this is any other player, you're like, you know what? Okay, yeah, he was free. Let's wait and see. He is perfect. He is the exact mold that we need right now. Do not mess it up. So, we'll see how things turn out. I think the club will mess it up. You tell me, Barca boy, are we going to sign Nico Williams? I don't think so. I don't think we will. But all we can do is dream now. I think the club will try and pursue him. And we'll wait and see how those things, those kind of talks turn out when those movements are made. But for now, the club have made it very clear he is the number one priority in regards to reinforcing the left wing, and also probably number one priority for this summer as well. Just now down to starting those movements. Again, he's made it clear he's happy in Bilbao. Bilbao will not sell him unless someone comes in and activates his release clause. That's all you can do now. Activate his release clause, inform Bilbao you're going to activate it. Maybe try to reach an agreement with them. You pay a little bit more installments. If they say no, pay it all up in front, and then go speak to Nico, see if he's open to the move, see what kind of wages he'll ask for, and we go from there. So we'll see how things turn out. But again, Nico Williams still remains the number one priority for Barcelona this summer. Now, there is a left winger who Barcelona have actually submitted a bid for already, and that's your boy Jaden Philogene. I could not believe this when I saw it. Now, I do want to say this. This is coming in from Atlético, who, of course, top source in Germany. Again, German Flick. You could say there's something there. No one in Barcelona has reported this. No one in Mundo Deportivo, Sport, Candecer, Onda Cero, Relivo. No one has said anything. Fabrizio Romano hasn't even said anything. Neither Mateo Morito. It is strictly Florian from Sky Germany. He said that Barcelona's interest in Jaden Philogene is very concrete. The club have submitted an offer to Hull City for a loan with an option to buy, valued at around 20 to 23 million euros. Barcelona has analyzed and followed the player in details. Now, whether this is a verbal offer or an official, of course, is two different things. If it's official, that means the bid's gone in. If they accept it, the player's going to come. I feel like what Barcelona have done there, they kind of set this offer on the table on a verbal basis and said, look, if we present this offer to you, would you accept it? If Hull say yes, they say yes. If they say no, they say no. I think he still remains a backup option. I think he's kind of leveled up in regards to backup. I think the club want Nico Williams first. If they can't get him, they might try Luis Diaz. Don't get him. Maybe try a bit in-house, and then that falls through. They'll go for Jaden Philogene. That's how I see the club, pursuing it. So they kind of have that kind of concrete formula in place. Okay, Hull will accept something somewhere around this. Let's go and try and work and try and get someone else. If that doesn't happen, we can go back and get him. Look, I'm not moved by this whatsoever. If we get Philogene over Nico Williams, I might go buy a gun and put a bullet in my mouth. I've had enough. We'll see. Again, no one's reported on this yet. It's just been Atlético. Again, he is still a top scorer. He's been spectacular over the past year, getting basically everything he reports on correct. So we'll see how things do turn out. But apparently, Barcelona have presented an offer to Hull City for a loan with a buy option for Jaden Philogene this summer. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored and confirmed to have left Barcelona over the past 48 hours. This is the chunk of the video right here because Barcelona have been moving mad. Of course, yesterday was June the 30th, the final day of the financial year, all that sort of stuff. So the club have confirmed a lot of exits both from the Barcelona first team and also Barca Atletic. Strap your seatbelts and let's get crack-a-lackin'. Firstly, Sergino Dest is no more at Barcelona. Of course, he was the one that blew up this channel with his transfer, 3 or 4 years ago. And now he's gone. Out of nowhere. No reports came in. No preliminary talks. The club just dropped an official statement saying that Barcelona have reached an agreement with PSV Eindhoven for the permanent transfer of Sergino Dest. Barcelona will retain a percent of a future sale for the American right back. There is no transfer fee involved. We went from getting 10 million to zero because of his damn ACL injury in the training. Look, the reality is, I understand what both parties have done here. For me personally, I would have tried to squeeze something out of PSV Eindhoven. Like, okay, if he comes back and he plays 20 games, give us 5 million. If he wins the trophy, give us $1 million. Try to squeeze something from it, but I think the club just wanted to cut losses, especially with the financial year coming to an end. I must say, Barcelona saved a buckload of money on his salary. He was earning, I think, 6 million for the next 2 years. That's 12 million saved as well. He's done like 180,000 a week. Shout out Barto Twat for giving him that. But we do have some news coming in from the PSV media. They came out saying that Barcelona sell on percentage for Sergino Dest is reported in the multiple tens of percentage, capped at a maximum amount, while the exact figure remains undisclosed. It's likely that Blaugrana could earn millions of euros from a future sale. So future sale is not too bad because again, Sergino Dest is young, so we could see him make another move in the future from PSV. And apparently, according to reports as well, due to the situation of the club, they had to get this done before June the 30th to save on his salary for the next financial year. That's why in the end they kind of crumbled. Now, Sport came out saying that this will be around a 50% sell-on fee once it kind of caps out. And of course, Barcelona did this as well to save on his wages. They, his wages were, ridiculous at this point. Of course, they were under a different regime. So overall, you can't complain. This is gonna go look at my reaction to when Dest got his ACL injury. I said it then. We're gonna let him go for free because he won't be fit until next year. PSV are taking a massive risk on him as well as us. There's a lot of risk on both sides. In the end, though, it's better for this operation to happen. So let's hope for Sergino Dest in the future so we can get some money from him. But for now, he leaves and he joins PSV Eindhoven on a permanent transfer for free. So Barcelona essentially gave him the letter of freedom. He then, terminated his contract with Barcelona and signed with PSV, and we squeezed in a percent of a future sale. So good luck to Sergino, and hopefully you can do well so you can get sold for some money so we can get some money back. That's exit 1 confirmed. Exit 2 that was officially confirmed is Marcos Alonso. The club confirmed that he will not continue at the club following the expiration of his contract. The club had released an official statement saying that Alonso is not going to continue at Barcelona, especially when his contract ends, of course, yesterday, June the 30th. Barcelona would like to place on record their appreciation for his commitment and dedication and wish him all the best in the future and every success. Alonso put a little Instagram post saying that shout out to the Culés, thanks for the great time, long live Catalonia, all that crap. I mean, he should have left last summer, and that's the reality of it. Shout out to that performance at the Bernabeu, and the rest of the moment when his father passed away, he scored against United. Apart from that, you were shite. Absolute shite. One of the worst players I've seen put on a Barcelona shirt. So, sayonara, we'll see you later. The next confirmed, or maybe not confirmed exit, is the bloody Joaos. I could not believe this. The club dropped a statement saying, the Joaos are done. See you later. They will not continue. I'm like, bloody hell. Surely not. No way. For a solid hour, this statement was up that the Joaos will not continue. Thank you for your service and your commitment. Sayonara. See you later. Muchísimas gracias, Joaos. But then the club, what did they have gone and do? They went and deleted every single statement on the platform saying that the Joaos will leave. Turns out, that was a mistake. The club did not mean to do that. So following this, Roberto came out saying that João Félix and João Cancelo situations remain open at Barcelona. Talks took place with Jorge Mendes to keep both players for next season. Discussions will continue on the club side with Atletico Madrid and Manchester City, respectively. Santi Obiel came out saying that this is just part of a formality because Barcelona still want to sign both the Joaos on a loan for next season. Romeu came out saying that farewell post for the Joaos, which was posted by the club's social media, was merely just for formality purposes, and the club want to re-sign the players in the future. In the end, there were reports coming out saying that the club had to contact Cancelo and Félix entourage saying sorry because it was a mistake. They shouldn't have done it. They sort of kind of announced that their loans were ending for this season, but it was just taken the wrong way. So we're back to square one. We're back to square one. They're not going to be, they could end up leaving, but the club still want to keep both. So they didn't just keep the Félix statement up or just the Cancelo statement up. They deleted both. So the club, of course, this is a very clear message to the fans. They're going to try to keep both, but hopefully not for any price. Like, Santi Obiel mentions here, just another loan is what the club do want. So wait and see on that. Quickly, on João Félix, there had been some news coming out about him. This came out, of course, before the official announcement. Firstly, Ferran Corraz came out saying that Hansi Flick is convinced that he can get the best out of João Félix. German coach believes that Félix is someone who can make a difference, but also feels a player always had needed to have some confidence from the coaches to show his talent and playing time. David Bernabeu also came out saying that Barcelona maintains its confidence in João Félix and will try to sign him on loan again. Negotiations are underway, but there is no hurry. He will return at a low-cost loan. So again, Félix has the confidence of Hansi Flick. Again, what does that mean for the depth of the forward line? Will he see Félix as someone on the left, down the middle, on the right, and the 10 behind Lewandowski? What does that mean for Ansu Fati? What does that mean for Ferran Torres? Because those two features are going to be, closer to the exit than it is staying. Because if Félix is staying, then they're not going to get any game time. But again, it still mainly comes down to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid reaching an agreement. So we'll wait and see on that. So that is kind of confirmed exit number 3, you could say, even though it wasn't confirmed. But you're probably wondering, Barca boy, what about El Capitano, Sergio Roberto? He is now officially not a Barcelona player. His contract has expired. It expired, of course, yesterday, June the 30th, 2024. Not a Barcelona player anymore. But, of course, the club did not release any statement in regards to Sergio Roberto, which of course means the club are trying to keep him. Of course, with Alonso confirmed, Dest confirmed, Joaos confirmed by mistake, but then deleted. With Roberto, it was radio silent. And then we got reports coming in from Ben Aid from Mundo Deportivo saying that everything is possible regarding Roberto's future. What did I tell you? I'm telling you right now for free. Roberto's going to stay. I've seen the light. Once we return the 1-1 rule, oh, we have so much salary space. Oh, we could afford Roberto's peanut salary. Come back, Sergi. Lead this team to something big next season. I'm telling you right now, I think Sergio Roberto's going to stay. But we'll wait and see. Right now, on paper, he's not a Barcelona player, so we'll see how things turn out in that regard. Now, finally, we have some updates around Barça Atletic as well, where some of the loans and some of the players' deals did expire. 9 Barça Athletic players' contract expired, with only, you could really say, Pau Victor being the one the club will try and keep. Of course, Moha, who's been involved a lot in the starting lineup, along with, of course, Marc Vidal, the goalkeeper. Their loans expire. I think Vidal was on loan, but Moha wasn't. Everyone else, there's no one that on this list that the club will try and, retain for the future. You could just, I would just say Pau Victor, especially with Marc Guiu leaving the club. But there is another player who's kind of on the same page as Sergio Roberto. So, if you don't know, of course, Mamadou McBack, he was on loan from LAFC. His loan is now expired, and there is no name of his name on the release list of Barça Athletic, which means what? The club will try and keep him. Sport came out saying that Barcelona is in negotiations to buy Mamadou McBack from Los Angeles FC. The fee has been reduced from $4 million to nearly half, raising hopes for his signing. Rafa Marquez's positive assessment has influenced the decision, as he believes the player has the potential to make the leap into the first team. If signed, McBack will join Barca's preseason under Hansi Flick, with his future role to be determined later. Look, especially with Mikayil Faye, I would say likely to leave this summer. This is a no-brainer. $2 million on a player who's been very, very strong for Barca Athletic last season. Impressed Xavi, he trained in the first team quite some few times. I think he was in a few squad lists as well. Of course, never made an appearance because it was all about Barca. But yeah, keeping him for half the price of his buy option on the loan, I would go ahead and execute that for sure, especially with the revenue that we do hope to get for the Mikayil Faye transfer. If Mikayil Faye stays, then I don't know. You take the Marguillo money and spend it on Pau Victor and McBack, maybe. I don't know. I'm still really on the pathway of every money should be invested into the first team, not Barca Athletic. But I understand the club want to be a bit diverse, so wait and see how things turn out in that regard. But that's it. That's all the confirmed exits. So Dest 100% gone, Alonso 100% gone, Joaos question mark, Sergio Roberto's question mark. The list of Barca Athletic releases, I would say only Pau Victor is a question mark, and of course alongside that McBack as well. Now, despite exits being confirmed, of course there are still rumors about exits, and one player who is basically on the verge of an exit, we just need final green light at this point, is of course Oriol Romeu. The Athletic have come out saying that sources at Barcelona take for granted that Romeu will leave the club this summer. He could return to Girona this summer, but Deco blocked the move for him in the January transfer window. Look, apparently Romeu wants to give it a go in preseason with Flick. What's the point? What is the point? Save us the time, save us the energy, go to Girona, live it up there, play some Champions League football with them, and just move on and spare us the misery. But we'll wait and see how things do turn out in that regard. Next midfielder is Frenkie de Jong. The Athletic also came out saying that Barcelona would like to sell Frenkie de Jong for a fee, given that he would be one of the most attractive players for other clubs, but the player wants to stay. I think the club really want to sell him because he does not want to renew. He just has not renewed his contract yet. Again, the renewal offer is still on the table. The club want to keep him, but of course, if he does not want to stay, the club will be happy to sell him for a good price this summer, which of course is standard proceeding. Final midfielder that is, potentially up in the air with his future is Pablo Torre. Gabriel Sanz and Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Pablo Torre will return to Barcelona after his loan at Girona. He will be at the Ciutat Esportiva for his medical checkups on July the 10th. His future will depend on Hansi Flick's assessment of his potential. Look, even if Pablo Torre lights it up in preseason or in those preliminary training sessions, where the hell is he to fit in this team? You want to sign a midfielder, you have Gundogan, you have Frenkie, you have Pedri, you have Gavi, you have Christensen who can play there as well, of course, you have Casado. You have already 7 players for a 3-position team. You want to add Pablo Torre to that. Fermin Lopez, who I forgot to mention. I think the track with Pablo Torre is over. I think we should sell him, retain some money back, percent of a future sale, buyback option, do kind of the same operation with Mikayil Faye with Pablo Torre. I think Girona will be, again, a great move for him. Local club. They have money now with being in the Champions League. They want him as well. Just try and retain part of his future. So if you know what, he blows up and we have injuries and maybe we sell players, there'll be room for him. I still think he's a great talent, so has massive potential. But right now, Barcelona, the two roads are not in line, unfortunately. And we spent 20 million on him 2 years ago, so hopefully we can kind of recuperate some of that money. Now, the final player in the midfield that could not, I wouldn't say potentially leave, but his future could be a bit in doubt is İlkay Gündogan. Now, the Atletic came out saying that Barcelona do not want to sell Gundogan, but he is not considered untouchable. If a club were to make a good offer, the club would consider selling him. Of course, that's just the standard. Again, I love how the media kind of rinse logic. It's just great. Now, they also said that it's unclear on how Hansi Flick's side will be set up, and Gundogan's position could be very different depending on whether he brings in a defensive midfielder or not. If they do, he's likely to be used closer to the rival box. If not, he may be used as a deeper role, which he did not enjoy last season. Now, this is actually true because Gundogan did an interview yesterday and he was saying that, yeah, I love playing, closer to the box, closer to the striker, but I'll play wherever the coach tells me to because I just want to play and I love playing. So, a little bit of a dig there, so to speak. Not really that chatty, but, at his position last season. He also mentioned that, yeah, I played in like 4 different positions in the midfield last season. It was quite hectic, but I enjoyed it. I love Barcelona. I love playing, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. So, listen, with Gundogan, I'd be shocked if he stays at Barcelona past 2025, if I'm being honest. And again, if an offer comes in, of course, you have to consider it. We have a bit of an overbooking in that attacking midfield position. You have Pedri, you have Fermin, and you have Gundogan. And Joao Félix, who can play there. So, you can definitely sacrifice one. It ain't going to be Pedri, ain't going to be Fermin, could be Joao Félix, could be Gundogan. The only team that I think that can really come in, make a bid that will tempt Barcelona and tempt the player as well is Galatasaray. If they come in, bid 20 to 30 million euros, give Gundogan fat wages, that could materialize. But apart from that, I think he will end up staying. Now, speaking on Gundogan's minutes, Gabriel Sanz came out saying that at Barcelona, they're worried with İlkay Gündogan's situation. The German has played 64 games this season for both club and country. This number could reach 68 matches that Pedri played in the 2020-2021 season. This comparison raises concerns as a large amount of the games took a toll on the player the following year. Now, listen, Gundogan's a bit on the older side. Pedri was very young at the time, and he was, very, very raw, that when you play so many minutes, it's going to take a toll on you. Gundogan's purely experienced. He's kind of had all the injuries in the middle of his career. Remember when he's at Man City, he was out for like a year twice due to ACL and knee problems, and now he's kind of come back. So he's a bit more experienced in playing minutes. But yeah, I totally agree. Maybe in the first couple of games in La Liga, with the depth that we do have, you can rest him a bit. But again, in that number 10 role, Fermin's going to go to the Olympics, Pedri's at the Euros, Gundogan's at the Euros. So who's going to play that role? To start off the season, that's going to be the real question mark of who's going to come in and fill that gap. But with Gundogan, I understand the clubs, worry about him. But again, I would say he's a bit older, so he has more big experience. I wouldn't be as worried for him as I was back, of course, with Pedri in 2021. So wait and see what happens with these potential movements in the midfield, where you would say basically Pablo Torre and Romeu are very unlikely to continue. But with Frenkie de Jong, Gundogan, good offer comes in, it'll be considered. Now, a potential exit that I already hinted about previously in the video is, of course, the future of Mikayil Faye, and Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona want the buyback clause for Mikayil Faye if they do end up selling him to Porto to be around 30 to 32 million euros. And why is that? Because that is double of the price that we want to sell him for. Perfect logic from Barcelona. I have to give credit where it's due. Sell him for 15, buy option for 30. That way Porto make double their money. We only have to pay 15 million euros to get him back because we received 15 million euros from his sale. It's happy days for everyone. Just really now down to Porto agreeing to it. So again, we'll wait and see with Mikayil Faye. His future right now is quite clear. Good price comes in, good offer comes in, we will sell. No good offer, no good price comes in, he will do preseason with the first team, with of course potential and high chance of staying if he impresses Hansi Flick. So we'll wait and see if there's any movement from Porto, but for now the club happy to keep him, happy for him to be involved in preseason unless a big offer arrives. Now, a player that is no longer a Barcelona player anymore, but does have ties for a potential future sale, and which Barcelona could benefit from, is Abde Ezzalzouli. According to reports, Saudi Arabia clubs are keeping an eye on Abde from Betis and are looking to sign him. Right now, Betis will only sell him for around 18 to 20 million euros, and of course, Barcelona holds 50% of any future sale. So keep your eyes on movements and the future of Abde. Keep in mind as well, we do have a buyback option for him this summer. I believe this summer is 25 million euros. The next summer it's 30 or something like that. So We could execute that if we want to. Doubt we will at this point, since, you know, if you buy him for 25, just double it and get Nico Williams. It's not freaking rocket science. But again, with Abde, keep your eyes on any movements with him. Of course, if he does move this summer, we do get 50% of any sales. If he gets sold for 20, we get 10. And that'd be a quite nice movement there for Barcelona, because I think we sold him for 8 to Betis, so 18 in total. We could say maybe 20 just to round up. Not too bad for him. And again, he's absolutely balled his career. He was in the Barcelona first team last season. If he stayed, he would have gotten some good minutes around October, November, December, January, February, March, April. But got too big for his own shoes. Went to Betis and absolutely flopped. Got no minutes there. Was injured a few times and could never get going. So those who leave Barcelona always regret it. So we'll see how things turn out with Abde's future. But again, we are linked with it. So keep your eyes on any, you know, movements with a potential sale that Betis are currently exploring. Now, the final exit rumor that we do have does revolve around the third captain of Barcelona, who could be the first team captain in about a year or two. It is Ronald Araujo. Now, Mikel Merino has come out saying that as of today, Manchester United's interest in Araujo has gone cold, as they have approached Matthijs de Ligt in the past few days from Bayern Munich. Great move for him, by the way. Deco is still in talks with his entourage, but the two parties will have to meet again in person to discuss it and decide which path to take, which of course will not take place until after the Copa America. What did I say in the last video? This for me is a clear path for Barcelona and Araujo to continue with each other. From Barcelona, they want to keep him, top defender, quality, future captain. He needs to get a pay rise because he took a very low new contract under Mateo Alemán in 2022. No problems there. Araujo, I think he's happy at the club, of course, and there's no interest from outside. Bayern Munich don't want him anymore. They want Jonathan Tah, especially with Tuchel leaving. There's no interest. United now are going for De Ligt. I mean, there's no interest from a big club. Of course, maybe, you know, Brighton would take him, or a Villarreal. Of course they would, but there's no upgrade for Araujo, or even equal level offer from any team that's equal to Barcelona, of course, buoyantly, you know, like a PSG or like an Arsenal or a Liverpool. No big club is in for Araujo, not because they don't rate him, but because they don't need a defender. If you look at all the top clubs, you know, Arsenal have Saliba and Gabriel. Bayern Munich have, you know, the likes of Upamecano and Kim Min-jae, and now they want to get Jonathan Tah. You have Man City, Ruben Diaz, John Stones. You have Real Madrid, Rudiger, Alaba, Militao. Like Liverpool, Van Dijk, Konate. Like, it's just no top club needs a top center back, and a top center back they want to like spend 90 million to get from Barcelona this summer. So the path is becoming more and more clear to continue at Barcelona. Again, just down now to sitting down, negotiating, and trying to strike a deal. Araujo wants a pay rise. He deserves it. He's on very low wages that he took on his new contract. Give him, you know, a fair wage for the level that he's at. I would not sell him after his poor season. Hopefully he has a strong remontada season next year. So we'll see how things do turn out. But I think, again, in my opinion, it is getting closer and closer to Araujo staying due to the interest from Barcelona keeping him and due to the lack of interest outside in Europe. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around Barca Atletic. No first team updates. You could maybe say Araujo was an update. We have a lot of renewal updates around the B side. Firstly, Unai Hernandez. Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona are already in talks to extend Unai Hernandez's contract, which expires in 2025. Flick also has him in mind and could join preseason with the first team and even make his first team debut next season. Of course, with a few players leaving Barca Atletic this summer, Unai Hernandez is said to be one of the cornerstones of Barca Atletic, be one of the faces of that team. Of course, did very well in the playoffs. From what I've seen, of course, top talent that we should be keeping an eye upon, hopefully giving more time to invest and grow in Barcelona. So, of course, good moves there, and hopefully we can get a renewal done for him as soon as possible. But the most advanced renewal right now is the renewal of Tony Fernandez. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Tony Fernandez has made his final decision to stay at Barcelona and sign a new contract despite offers from several clubs in Europe. He informed Barcelona yesterday that he wants to stay, terms to be agreed in July. So he's made the commitment to Barcelona, which of course is fantastic. He's again another top talent. He was training under Xavi, what was it, 2 or 3 months ago. Out of nowhere, we had a few injuries and a few suspensions, and he called him up to come train, which again shows the highly regarded talent that he is. And keeping, of course, is massively important. But there is a talent with Fernandez as a last name that does have a bit more potential than him, and it is, of course, his cousin, Gili Fernandes. Following that report from Fabrizio Romano, Tony Juan Marti came out saying that just like Tony Fernandes, his cousin Gili Fernandes will also continue at Barcelona if there is no radical change. He's always wanted to commit and continue at Barcelona, and Barcelona considers him a structural talent for the future. All that remains is to finish off the agreement. So again, fantastic news there. Gili Fernandes is one of the most highly regarded talents that Barcelona have produced in the past few years after the likes of Lamine Yamal and Ansu Fati. I mean, I have not seen like highly rated talents like him since those two players, and he's done exceptionally well in the youth ranks, of course being the youngest ever player to debut for Barca Atletic last season. I think, what was he, 15 years old? He's doing wonders, and the talent that he has is exceptionally high, and again, keeping him is very, very, very important. So let's hope we can do that. And the final midfield talent that we have already locked up on, hopefully soon, is Marc Bernal. A few days ago, of course, I told you guys that there's a full agreement with Marc Bernal. He has totally agreed a new contract with Barcelona. All the stuff now is to sign it. And Gabriel Sanz, Mundo Deportivo, came out saying that Barcelona has summoned 17-year-old Marc Bernal to begin preseason with the first team under Hansi Flick's order. He will report to Ciudad Deportiva João Gamper on July the 10th. For medical checks beforehand. He'll sign his new contract in the presence of João Laporta, a deal already agreed weeks ago. He'll renew for 2 years, extending until 2026, with the option of 3 more years, and the release clause is set at 20 million euros. Very similar to the renewal of Hector Fort and Paco Barcelona, since right now he's too young, he's not 18, he cannot sign a long-term contract, so he signs a maximum 2 years with the option that will definitely be executed for 3 more years as well. So with him, of course, committing his future to Barcelona, he will be given, of course, a chance in preseason, just like Alejandro Balde and Lamine Yamal last season. They both had to agree and renew their contracts before going on the plane to America for preseason. Marc Bernal has done the exact same thing, and he was informed yesterday that he will be called up on July the 10th to start preseason with the first team. Let's discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo did give us a big update on the new home kit. He gives us the date of when Barcelona plan to release it, and of course announce it as well. And it's July 18th. Bloody hell. That is so late. That is what, 10 days before we travel to America? Madre mia, that is quite late, but you know what? It is what it is. Hopefully, since it's July the 10th, we know the players come back on, July the 18th, we know the players come back on July the 10th, get them in those kits and get some decent announcement going. Even if it's like Marc Bernal wearing it, or the Frenkie de Jong will be there, because of course he's one of the faces of Barcelona. Pedri and all those players should be back by then. Actually, no, the finals on July 14th, and they might not even be back in Barcelona. But whoever the top players are in preseason to start with, get them in the kit so we can announce it properly. But again, mid-July announcement for the new home kit, which of course is very, very late in terms of regular standards. Now, in some news in regards to which stadium we'll be playing at next season, and also when as well, we have an update when Barcelona plan to move to the new Spotify Camp Nou. Franco Rasen Sport has come out saying that Barcelona right now is in negotiations with UEFA to make an exception to the rule that requires teams to play in all their home matches in the group stages of the UCL in the same stadium. Barcelona plans to start the season at the Montjuic and return to Spotify Camp Nou around the end of December or early January. They want to play their last home match of the group stages at the Spotify Camp Nou. The club is optimistic about this request, considering it an exponential situation. Couple of things here. One, you gotta negotiate with the UEFA, and that's gonna be a problem. Sefran absolutely hates it, of course, the president of UEFA. Secondly, there's no guarantee. So if you waste your time and effort and use your favors and leverage to negotiate this and get the green light, and then the stadium is not ready for the final home group game, and then you don't end up playing in the Spotify Camp Nou, what was the point? That's my concern. I personally believe we will not be in the stadium this year. I think we will return around end of January, beginning of February. I think the time that Barcelona will be back will be a couple of games before the first game in the round 16 of the Champions League, which of course is around mid-February. So I see us returning beginning of February, end of January-ish. If we're back in 2024, I will be beyond shocked. And also, end of December, early January, there's no more Champions League. So what the F is the point? I'm pretty sure the last group stage game in the Champions League is the beginning of December. I think it's the first week of December. And also, you might not even have the home game that game. You might be playing away at Antwerp like we were last season. So, is there no thought process here? I mean, bloody, I've just debunked this as a random Barcelona fan. Like, use some logic, lads. Come on. So, we'll see what happens with this. The reality is, in 2025, we will return to our Camp Nou home. Thank God for that. Whether we return early or not remains to be seen. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is, of course, in regards to Barcelona returning to the 1-1 rule. It's July the 1st. Happy Canada Day. And we're not back in the 1-1 rule yet. You're probably thinking, bloody hell, deadlines passed. We're at this summer. But that's not reality. Catalonia Radio have come out saying that there is a lot of optimism transmitted by both Barcelona and La Liga that the club will return to the 1-1 rule by the second week of July. We are just last second FC. I've been saying this for months, years, and years. We are just... No, that's all. This just fell down. We're just last second FC. We just do everything at the very minimum last second. I don't know how it's extended. I don't know why. Apparently, there's actually no deadline to return to 1-1 rule. We can do it whenever. But hopefully, we do it as soon as possible, man. There's no doubt in my mind that we will return to 1-1 rule. I am 1 billion% sure we will. When? Couldn't tell you. Could be tomorrow. Could be Thursday. It could be in September. Could be in 2028. I don't know. But we're going to be back there at some point. The question now really is when. So we'll see how things turn out. Of course, right now, July the 1st, we are not in the 1-1 rule, but we should be there hopefully, praying by next week. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to first see, of course, your thoughts on that midfield reinforcement. Who would you bring in out of Kimmich, Onana, and Merino? Second, your thoughts on Barcelona putting in an offer for Jaden Philogene. Thirdly, your thoughts on the Joaos. How much would you keep them for? Would you keep one of them, both of them, neither of them? And finally, your thoughts on all the exits being confirmed as of late, and do you think there'll be any more exits coming in the next few days? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.